Hi everyone, welcome back to a new video from Swasti Wellness. Today this video is about few important terminologies from psychology. There are a lot of terminologies in psychology. Some are very confusing but important. Today this video is about certain confusing terms we come across which dealing with psychology. I have included 10 terminologies in this video. The first one is deja vu. Yeah, what is deja vu? Do you know what it is? Even normal people also get deja vu. Do you get this ever? Yes, it is the illusion of remembering scenes and events when experienced for the first time. That means already seen. It is a French phrase which means a feeling of familiarity in new surroundings. For example, if you go to a new place for a visit and you feel that that place is very familiar for you, or you think that you came there before, that feeling is deja vu. We will go to the second terminology, that is jamais vu. It is also something related to deja vu. We will see what it is. Jamais vu is a French phrase which means never seen. It is the illusion that the familiar does not seem familiar. So exactly we can say it is the opposite of deja vu. For example, if you go to a familiar place and you may feel that you came there at first, you may not remember that place at all. That is jamais vu. The third terminology is presque vu. This is also a French word. Presque vu means almost seen. When a person can't quite recall something they want to remember, such as a name or a place. For example, if you see your classmate or your childhood friend and you know that person but unable to spell his name very easily, usually we says the name is in the tip of the tongue. That situation is presque vu. These three situations like deja vu, jamais vu and presque vu will be seen even in normal people. But if these feelings are occurring simultaneously or continuously, a medical consultation is very much needed. Next, the fourth terminology, that is DABDA. DABDA is an acronym. It is used in the 5 stages of grief or the 5 stages of coping with dying. DABDA, which means denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. This model was proposed by Kubler-Ross. Those who experiencing grief go through a series of 5 emotions like these 5 stages. For example, if a person loses his loved one, he go through a series of emotions. Firstly, denial, which means he is not ready to accept it. Then he shows anger to others. Then he pray God for give his loved one back, that is bargaining. Later he becomes silent, started to cry or depressed, and at last he accepts the reality and understands the loss is inevitable. So denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance is shortly known as DABDA. Next terminology is ambivalence. What do you mean by ambivalence? It is a state of having simultaneous conflicting reactions, beliefs, or feelings towards some object. In this stage, a person shows attraction or repulsion towards an object or person or action. People who are ambivalent usually fail in their relationships. They have difficult to solve problems or make decisions. For example, if a person is ambivalent, he is unable to choose yes or no. He will be in a confused state. In short, we can say positive and negative thoughts and feelings at the same time about same person or object. That is ambivalence. Next terminology we will see is id. Id is a Latin word which means it. According to Sigmund Freud, the personality has three traits: id, ego, and superego. In that, the first one is id. It is the instinctual component of personality that is present at birth, and it is a source of bodily needs. It is driven by pleasure principle. If needs are not satisfied, the result is a state of anxiety or tension. This is an example. Here you can see the three stages, that is id, ego, and superego. Id usually seen in the early stages of life, that is in the children. He may say, I want to eat chocolate. Okay, if there is a crowd also, whatever the reason, if he is feeling thirsty or hungry, he may ask it. Second, ego. If a person gets chocolate, he eats a small bar of chocolate. He is satisfied with that. Their ego works. And the third superego, he says, I am on a super diet. Simply he neglects that chocolate. Here superego works. Next terminology we will see is psychopath. You might have heard about this term before. We will see what it is. A psychopath, it's a person who has no feeling for other people, does not think about the future, and does not feel bad about anything they have done in the past. He is an abnormal person who commits a series of crimes without a guilty feelings. If he caught also, he will not accept his mistake. According to him, what he is doing is right. Psychopath will go to any extent to fulfill his need. A lot of movies were released based on this subject. Few examples of these movies are Rakshasan, Psycho, and Seven Psychopaths in Hollywood, and so on. Next terminology is word salad. It's also known as schizophasia. So, from the term itself, we will understand it has a relation with schizophrenia. It's right. Word salad is random words or phrases linked together in an often unintelligible manner. Word salad is mainly seen in the cases like schizophrenia or mania. In this situation, the client simply uses some words to make sentences without having a meaning or structure. We'll see one example for this condition. I want to go and see my friend Nick today. The client says like that, but it might come out as I do want to Nick to go see today and friend. So he used some words to make a sentence without any meaning, without a logic or without a structure. He formulated a subject so that what he want to convey does not produce. Next terminology is echopraxia. The word praxia, which comes from the Greek word, means action. It's a feature of schizophrenia, a pathological automatic imitative response or desire to mimic others' behavior. Inappropriate copying of other person action. This condition is also known as echokinesis. Some examples are pulling out the tongue, pointing fingers, touching the tip of the nose. While observing others, the client imitate or mimic the features. We will move to the next terminology, that is claustrophobia. It's a type of phobia. It's an anxiety disorder which means fear of being in constricted confined spaces. This condition is triggered by an irrational and intense fear. Some examples are being in an elevator or crowded room or a small room. In those situations, the client may have an irrational fear. This is claustrophobia. The 10th and the last terminology for today is tic. What do you mean by tic? It's a sudden, compulsive, repetitive sound or movement that's often difficult to control. People who have tics cannot stop their body from doing these things. They blink their eyes over and over again. They repeat sneezing, coughing. These tics may be associated with stress, anxiety, tiredness, or excitement. In most cases, tics will resolve on their own. The person who has tics repeating the activities without their own knowledge. That's all about today's terminologies. We have discussed 10 terminologies which are very confusing in psychology. Thanks for watching this video. I will come with a new video soon.